So I'm super excited to introduce Kristie Slade today. Kristie is an entry-level knitting machine trainer at Fairystone Fabrics in Burlington. She started in 2011 in this industry, and she's been with Fairystone for 5 years, so since 2015. And she quickly progressed into her current role, and I'm very excited to have her today, and she's going to tell us a little more about what she does at Fairystone. So thank you, Kristie. Thanks for joining us, and the stage is all yours if you want to introduce yourself and say a little bit.
All right. Thank you for this opportunity. I guess I could just make it short and sweet today. I work for Fairystone Fabrics. We're a textile knitting manufacturing company. We knit fabrics for a range of automotives, medical, military, some sneakers. We do a wide variety of things that you would take for granted every day. You look at it every day and be like, I wonder where this is made from. One fun fact that I learned from working at Fairystone is that if you drive a Honda Civic from the year 1990 on up to the present year, and you have interior cloth, we make it. We're the only knitting company that makes the fabric for a Honda Civic. So that's another interesting fact. We make headliners for Lexus cars. We do military. For the military, we do the heat resistance. We make the fabrics to cover up the tanks to make them invisible to drones or satellites. We do that at our facility. Other than that, what I do, I train operators and threaders. I am the to-go person. Anything that's wrong on the knitting room floor as far as the fabrics, to the yarn, to the machines, I have some type of capability to help the company out and fix any issues that arise. While training, since I've been training for maybe 2.5, 3 years now, I've come across a wide variety of personalities. Mm-hmm. They're all different. Learning styles, everybody has a different type of learning style. And coping mechanisms. I've had to learn a lot of different coping mechanisms to deal with these individuals and trying to get them to work to their fullest potential and to see the best within themselves. Other than that, we're a very family-oriented company, very laid back. If you ever get the opportunity to come into Fairystone Fabrics, you will see this firsthand. Everybody is welcoming, friendly. From Jim to Chris, everybody is like one happy family. What I do, my position was created. They didn't have a trainer. They had whatever shift you were going to go work on, that's where you were trained. So they had multiple people training people how to do a job. So you had multiple people making mistakes, multiple people learning correctly, doing it correctly. So when Chris came on aboard, what he decided to do was create one trainer. So you have one person training everybody coming in the door, one showing them one way instead of having multiple ways. What I do, I show them the generic way of doing something, and then once I see they didn't grasp the idea, I start showing them shortcuts. Because there's always shortcuts to whatever you do. You just have to grasp the idea first. If you can grasp the idea of a skill, then your trainer can grow. They can. It's like a flower. Just water it here, water it there. Fine tuning. That's it. What else? What else I could tell you about Fairystone and what I do?
Do you want me to share the pictures?
Yeah, you can show the pictures.
Okay, so maybe you can talk a little about that.
Okay. This is a fixer. What he does, he works on the machines. Him and an operator, they share a set together, a set of machines, and they keep them running. But what he does, he fixes like broke needles, closure wires, anything that's dealing with the machine mechanically. He fixes it. Go to the next one. This is an operator, and what an operator does, they fix any defects that's on the machine. They patrol the machines. They look for any issues dealing with the yarn, and basically they just keep the machines up and running. And what she's doing here, she's looking for any defects in the yarn that is not visible to the eye, but she needs a little light to make it shine out a little bit brighter, and you can see it better. Go to the next.
Is that like a special light?
Not really. It's a LED light, and what it does, it magnifies the defect better. Like if you had a light in, that light will show that light in more clear.
Okay.
Now he's a mechanic overhauler. What he does is he takes and breaks down the machine altogether, takes everything off from the guide bar to the needles to the closure wires to sinkers. He just basically tears the machine down, and then he'll put it all back together with new parts.
Okay.
And then there's me, entry level trainer. I'm actually the to-go-to person. Like I said before, anything wrong with the yarn, machine troubles, working on smashes, anything. I do anything that would take time away from that person in that position to do. He's a threader. Actually, me and him were in training the day that these pictures were taken. Basically, a threader is the first line of defense to the machine. If they didn't have threaders, the machines would not be up and running. What we do, we take the yarn from the beams, we slay point it into the machine, and we have a special tool that we use to actually thread the machines. And once we finish threading the yarn into the machines, we start the machines up and put them back in production.
Okay.
This is a basic knitting machine right here. It's running fabric. I think this is an automotive machine. This is the material that this machine is running. It's automotive. Go to the next. There's a better view of it. There. Okay. Those rolls that's on the machine, they run anywhere between 3,200 racks to 5,000 racks. Depends on what the customer wants. So we try to supply the customer whatever they need. We try to supply them with. Okay, good.
That was the last picture.
That's the basics of a textile knitting fabric.
Awesome. Do you girls have any questions so far about what Kristie is doing at her company?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, not yet.
Okay, perfect. So Kristie, please tell us a little more about how you got started in that industry and what actually drew you to that industry.
Well, I got started in this industry 2011. I started at the lowest position possible, which is a patroller, and I gradually worked myself up with one company. I went through 3 positions. I went from a patroller to an operator to a threader, and then I parted ways with that company. And then 2015, I joined Fairystone as an operator, an experienced operator and threader. And then eventually, I think maybe 6 months later, after being with Fairystone, the opportunity to become head trainer was pitched to me, and I took it. And I've been doing it ever since.
Awesome. Were you specifically looking for the textile industry, or did that just happen for you?
It just happened. I was
Okay.
not looking for textile industry. It just happened. I guess you could say the right time, right place.
Hmm. Do you think there are any specific skills that somebody should have when going into a job like yours?
No, there's no specific skills really, just more or less mental skills, being open-minded, being having a willingness to learn something new and not having a know-it-all type of mentality.
Hmm.
A lot of I find that a lot of people will help you more and show you more if your mindset is open to learning new things. You have to be open to learn new things.
Right. Well, you are working in a pretty much male-dominated job. Have you experienced any obstacles or challenges being among all these men?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The yes part would be you will find a lot of men have a hard time with a woman telling them how to do something. And the way I approach those type of men, I show them that I do know what I'm talking about. And once I show them, I gain a little bit more of their respect. And so when I ask them to do something, they are more willing to do it. Um, the overhaulers and mechanics, all of those positions, they're filled mainly men.
Mm-hmm.
The fixers are mainly men. The operators are mainly women. Your threaders are a mixture of men and women. So it's 50-50 with your threader group. Another obstacle I face really and truly is having to deal with their macho personality.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Um, a lot of them have tendency if a woman can does their job better than them, it kind of hurts their feelings, and that's when you have the macho. Oh, I'm a man, and she can't do that better than me, and I'm like, okay, but I just did. So it really doesn't matter job wise if I'm a male, if you're a male or I'm a female, we're doing the same job, so we're trying to come to the same result
Right.
of having an A+ job performance.
So if a young girl or woman approach you and ask what she needs to do to become an entry-level trainer like you, what would you tell her?
Be ready to work hard.
Okay.
Be ready to work hard and to prove yourself through your work. A lot of my obstacles come from having to show them that I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of patience. A lot of patience because dealing with multiple personalities, different people, learn different people's learning sets. You have to be patient. Have to be patient. That's you can do anything you set your mind to it, as long as you accomplish it. So that's what I would tell anybody who wants to try for my position or try to do my position. I mean, it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to stay focused.
Right. All right, go. Questions?
Um, so you said you work with fabric. Have you guys made any face masks?
I don't think we're making face masks. What we're making for the hospitals, we're making the gowns. The gowns, the fabric gowns that you see draped over people, like on the news, that's at these drive-through sites. We're making those gowns.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
So how does it work? Do you make the whole gown, or is it just the fabrics and then it goes somewhere else and they make the actual gown, like sew it together?
Yes, we make the fabric and then we ship it to our customers, and our customers ship it to their customer, and then their customer makes the gowns and stuff.
Hmm.
So we're like the beginning of the process of making the
Right. Because that was actually one of my misperceptions when I started working with Fairystone. I thought you go there and you get a T-shirt or something, like the final product. And then when I went through the facility and I saw like just the yarn and the threads and everything, I was like, okay, how do they make that actual T-shirt? And
Mhm.
then after a while of going around and looking at the machines and everything, I was like, okay, they don't make the T-shirt, they just make the fabrics. So yeah, that is super exciting though. I mean, if you ever get a chance to tour Fairystone, and I know within the apprenticeship program we offer that once a year, you should definitely go. I think it is an awesome facility. It's so interesting to see what they make and how they make it, and it's pretty well. It used to be very hands-on, at least before COVID. So you would go in and they would let you touch the material and everything. So I really love that. I like going to this place.
Because if you've been on a tour in the last 2 years, you've probably seen me. You've probably met me in one shape or way or form,
Uh-huh.
through either the operator position or the threading position. But most likely it was threading. From the threading aspect, I
Right.
always get caught or stuck with those tours, which is fine with me.
Yeah, it's good to show people around. So I know we had a tour with Education NC, and they were so excited. They took so many pictures and videos and everything. So they loved that. That was really awesome. Are there any women that inspire you, Kristie?
Mm, that's a tough question. Um, there's a couple of women that have inspired me through my life. There's a
Uh-huh.
couple of them.
Do you mind to share like one or two stories?
Um, my grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother, she was in the textile industry. She went,
Awesome.
I think she did warping, which is another side of textiles.
Uh-huh.
She she did that for a very long time.
That is
Very long time. Another one would be myself.
very good. Very good.
Come a long way. I've had a lot of trials and hiccups along the way, but most importantly, I've overcome and I'm still overcoming obstacles every day.
It
I'm
makes you
proud
so
of
much
myself.
right. It makes you so much stronger to see what you are capable of
Hmm.
and just overcoming these obstacles and just there's always a tomorrow. You just keep going and you learn from it. Did you have any mentors?
Believe it or not, I have a couple of male mentors at Fairystone.
That's good too.
Yeah. How I got those are very shocking and surprising, but it took a lot of work and a lot of effort and just staying open minded and wanting to learn.
Hmm.
They tell me every day it makes a difference when somebody wants to learn versus somebody that doesn't want to learn.
Right.
I've always wanted to learn.
Hmm.
So they have no problem showing me things, letting me make mistakes, and then coming back and telling me or showing me the right way to do it. So I have a couple of mentors in positions that I hope hopefully one day want to fill at Fairystone.
And I believe you have mentees too, right?
Hmm?
You have mentees too, so your mentors.
Yes. The right now I have the CAP students with me.
Mhm.
I have what, two, four. I have four of them right now that are with me, and they keep me on my toes. They really do. But I do have a hard head one. I do have one that is a brainiac. I do have one that's willing and wanting, and I have one that's bored with what we're doing now and ready to move forward. So I have to adjust to all of them, but I try to lead them all in the right way. So it's
Awesome.
I have a very interesting 8 hours a day with these guys. So they keep me young at heart.
Oh, I can imagine. CAP students are in an apprenticeship program, so it's a mixture of on-the-job training and related education at ACC. And we usually have students in high school, so juniors and seniors apply to the program, and then they can start a 4-year apprenticeship program if they are accepted into the program. And they usually take classes in either mechatronics, industrial systems, or machining. So machining is really how to make parts. Mechatronics is a little more about how to fix parts. So it's a lot of maintenance, like repairing machines, troubleshooting. There's a little electrical part in it. There's an automation part. So they also learn how to operate robots, for example. And then industrial systems is pretty close to mechatronics. So they have a lot of that programming aspect with the robots, etc. But they also have more general classes like plumbing and welding, and they have a machining class as well, and blueprint reading and things like that. So it's a program, and tuition is covered. So the state of North Carolina pays for tuition. Our students do not have to do that. And they are actually considered full-time employees at the company. So they will get paid whether they are in the classroom or at the company. And I think that's really awesome, because when I went to school, I don't know about you, Kristie, but nobody paid me for being in school. So
No, they didn't.
no, you actually had to pay for that probably. So
Mhm.
so this is a really awesome program, and Fairystone Fabrics is one of the companies in this program, and they currently have 5 apprentices. Oh my God. I think,
Yes, 5.
yes. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
So, what is your favorite, or what do you think is the funnest part of your job?
The favorite part of my job is I get to interact with various different types of people. I think that's the most interesting part of my job is how having to have the ability to adapt to different people and their learning skills. And I'm learning something from by doing this as well. I'm learning how to adjust myself to help somebody else. So I think that right there is the most fun part of my job. Everything else is pretty much hectic.
That's cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. I have a fun question for you, Kristie. And this question is, where do we find you on a Saturday morning?
Depending on the weekend, I might be at Fairystone working.
There you go.
Seeing how we are very busy right now at the moment, I could be working anywhere from 7 days one week to 6 days the next week, 7 days the next week, 7 days the next week after that. So my Saturdays kind of bounce around Fairystone, and if it's my
Uh-huh.
weekend I work.
And
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. It is. But we have to get everything out as far as the medical supplies go, so that the doctors and hospitals and all the volunteers, nurses, CNAs, LPNs, or RPNs, they get the proper PPE that they need.
right. So we really do appreciate your work. This is very, very important what you do.
Yes. I didn't realize how important it is until COVID.
Right. I think none of us actually did. Yeah. So if you don't have to go to Fairystone, is there anything you like to do in your free time? Are you an athlete? Do you like to work out, or are you gardening?
Um, free time, I'm probably sleep from working 12-day stretches to 14-day stretches to 13-day stretches. I'm
I
probably sleep or napping but other than that, I might be reading a book or cooking. I like culinary.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think you need that balance, especially since you're working so hard.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because I've been on vacation all week, and Monday and Tuesday they were sleep days.
You do need that sometimes. And it did start raining, so today is a perfect sleeping day.
Oh yeah, it stopped raining over here, so
Okay. Well. Okay, girl. More questions.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that I didn't really realize how essential. I was just thinking how essential your job is and how it's like essential kind of for the economy and world to keep moving and just.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too. It's my job is very essential. Once you realize like fabric, fabric is essential in everything in some way, shape, or form. From carpet to clothing to just simple things that you take for granted and just look over. It comes from fabric, some way, shape, or form. And to take it a little step further, we have a yarn supplier called Unify, and they take plastic and turn plastic into yarn.
Wow.
And we use that yarn to make fabric. Call it polyester.
Wow, that's cool.
So is it like recycling too? Because you
Yes,
recycle the plastic? Oh,
yes,
that's
they
good.
they recycle the plastic and to make yarn. I actually was looking. I was outside smoking a cigarette on break, and one of the trucks pulled up, and I asked the guy, like, "So how do y'all turn plastic into fabric?" And he went through the whole process, and I was like, "Wow, I never knew."
That's really cool.
Mhm. Like when you get into it, you'll find little things that'll make it that can grasp your attention. You just have to be open minded with it.
Right. And I think we don't really think about where our textile, our shirts come from, our sheets, our towels, whatever, where all that comes from. And I know the first time I went to Fairystone and they talked about headliners, I've been driving for many years, but I never paid attention to any of that. And then when I got into my car again, I looked up and I was like, yeah, somebody has to make that. And that
Mhm.
makes sense. But I completely agree. You don't think about that. And it's amazing how much textile it's much less now in elements, but it's still amazing.
Mhm.
We have a good portion of fabrics company or textile companies in elements. And I know Fairystone, you work with like Glen Raven and Shawmut, so you're actually
Mhm.
connected pretty well, and you're just right around the corner from them too. So, but yeah, I mean, if you ever get a chance, Faith and Isabella, to explore that, it's very interesting, and I would really like to encourage you to look into that.
Yeah, because we make not only do we make headliners for Honda Civics, we make it for Cadillacs, Nissans, Toyotas, GMCs, Yukons, Dodge. There's a lot of cars that we make headliners for.
Hmm.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you said you also did stuff with sneakers. Are there any brands we'd be familiar with that you've worked with?
Yes, at the other textile plant that I work for, I did the tongues for New Balances.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Hmm. We had a set of machines. There was a set of machines there that ran that type of material. Yeah, throughout my whole textile career, I've done stuff for. I've had the opportunity to do stuff for NASA, the U.S. Army, sanitation department, clothing, apparel, automotive industry, and now the medical industry. Oh, and we do Velcro at Fairystone as well.
Cool.
I had a question, but now I forgot it.
That's fine. Maybe you can think of it again.
Okay, I think I remember. I remember now. So, have you always been interested in like fabric and sewing, or did you just pick it up like whenever you got your job, or you just like have you always been interested in how things are made?
No, not really. With this one, this particular job, no, I was not interested in fabric at all. It just happened. And once I got my foot in the door and I started working and they started informing me on what we're making, the products that we're making it for, that's when it grasped my attention. When I found out I was
Okay.
a headliner for a $50,000 car, $80,000 car, doing stuff for the U.S. government, making our tanks invisible to drones and satellites and stuff like that. So that's where it grasped my attention, really.
That's cool. That's really
I was shocked with the sanitation because we make the biodegradable fabric that you could put in like the your sanitation department uses when they do the sanitation pipes and stuff. We make that material and it biodegrades over time.
I have not heard of that kind of fabric, but that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Well, I don't have any questions for you either, Kristie. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Textile industry, it might seem dead, but it's still alive because without it, there's a lot of things that we would not be able to survive without. If you do get interested in it or are interested in it, come on over to Fairystone Fabrics. Join the CAP students. I'd be more than happy to work with you and to keep you motivated and interested because we do need a lot of females in positions that are ran majority by males. So it's time for a little. I pick with people a lot, and I tell them like we just need a little bit of estrogen in this position to settle the boys down because they're fighting over there amongst themselves. So you just need a woman to kind of separate them and guide them back on their course. So come on, it's fun. Say that again.
Oh, I just said totally.
Right. So come on over to Fairystone and let's see if we can get you ladies motivated, interested, and moving right on up to become a overhauler mechanic, a fixer one day, or maybe even a supervisor.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested now.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Mission
that is
accomplished.
Yes.
Very, very good. Well, if you guys don't have anything else for Kristie, I want to be respectful of your time and thank you very, very. Let me do this again. Thank you very, very much for joining us today, for spending your lunch hour with us and sharing your story and talking about what you do at Fairystone every day. And I think it was pretty eye-opening for all of us because we tend to forget about jobs like these that we don't see on a daily basis, like the big ones, like the doctors and the lawyers and, you know, the engineers. So thank you for everything you do at Fairystone. I know you're very popular over there. So thank you for just being you and helping our next generation learn something.
Yes, that is the next generation, and that is the goal. Because once I'm older, I need a generation to come behind me and keep that train rolling.
Right. I agree.
But thank you again for allowing me to speak with y'all today, and I look forward to many more meetings with you
you.
guys. Oh, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.